Let's bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our Mother Kundalini and put Bandhan. Shri Ganesh Mantra. Let us keep our both hands on the Mother Earth, attention on Muladhara. Shri Mataji, you are Sakshat Shri Ganesha. Kindly remove all the imbalances in our Muladhara chakra through the earth element. kindly bring us to complete balance. Left hand on our liver. Shrimataji, you are the doer, you are the enjoyer. I do nothing. Kindly come into our attention. Let us bring our left hand back on the lap. Attention on Sahasrara. Shri Mataji, kindly give us the thoughtless awareness state. Now let us listen to Shri Mataji's speech.
It's not very easy to explain Sahaja Yoga to anyone rationally, as you must have also faced the same difficulty. Not only that we are facing this difficulty, but has been faced in Christ, Blake, all of them. I've been reading Blake these days, and Don wrote to me that he's writing some sort of a thesis on Blake, friends of sinners, friends who are friends of sinners. But they could not communicate to human beings in that way as we could communicate and give realization. We can make them feel the vibration. See, this is an advantage we have. And today the time has come definitely to us that what Blake has desired and asked for or pictured or visualized, we can prove it. Now, when we explain Sahaja Yoga to someone, we have to talk relatively in the beginning because they haven't found their absolute. It can be quite difficult and frustrating in the beginning to talk about something that is such a living process of our evolution. We cannot explain how we evolved into a human being. And to explain how we are going to a newer dimension is also a difficult thing. How it is going to happen, how we are going to sprout, what's going to happen is unbelievably fantastic. And we can't believe that we could achieve that. People just don't want to believe that you can achieve it in this lifetime. They live in the future. As I told you last time, we are futuristic people. We always think of the future. The dangers of futures also I told you what happens to people mentally and emotionally. But spiritually, it happens in such a way that you think that in this lifetime you cannot get your realization. You are quite convinced about it that we'll get it in the future because you live in the future. So you can't accept the present in which you can get your realization. This is one of the biggest problems of Sahaja Yoga, that today we are facing the futuristic society which always lives in the future. So to explain to them at this time, at this special moment, you can get your realization. This time is meant for that. In the past, this was the future. And this future has been predicted by so many. So that future has come now and one has to face it as a present. Every future has to be present sometime. Not imaginary, but the real future that has to face you, which was seen by seers and predicted, has to be materialized. Once you understand this point, then one can explain Sahaja Yoga that this is the time one has to expect their realization. Now, a man who thinks too much and who lives in the future would first shun it, saying that how can we get our realization in this lifetime? One may say like that. Then the same person may accept, all right, if you convince that you can get your realization, so why don't you come here downstairs? Who is there? Good idea. So the second point he may raise, as you must have also faced, you get realization because it's futuristic. You see, things is imaginary, isn't it? It's not reality. Reality is what it is. Supposing you want to think about this hall and you imagine this hall will be like this, like that, and this will happen. It does. What you see, what you feel is the reality. But the people who live in futuristic ways are never realistic because they are imagining things. So the second point that they stumble upon is their own conception about God and realization. That's not reality. Reality is what it is. It cannot be changed. It cannot compromise. It is what it is. Now first, for such a people, or they are pastistic, you can say, the people who live in the past, all of them must resolve one thing very clearly. Are you a seeker? Be not rational, not imaginary, but real. If so, we should be prepared to face the truth as it is. Like that as it is, whatever is the truth, you will face it. Then the task is better. You prepare the person for realization in a better way. The second type of people are such, those who have lived in the materialistic world, in the gross life. We live in the gross life. Every money, how we can do this all, how we can take it on higher, how we work it out, all these are. So if somebody says that you cannot get God by paying money for it, God doesn't understand money. Not at all. You have made money. God doesn't understand. Whether you pay him or not, he will make the place rain, or he can give you fertile land, he'll give you fruits, he'll give you all the bounties and all the beauties of life. Whether you do anything for him or not, he's a giver, he'll go on giving. He doesn't know money. He will do it for the rich, he'll do it for the poor, he'll do it for everyone. But we think of money. Naturally, it goes easier into your mind if there is somebody who says you can pay £2 for coming in. That sounds better, because it must be worth something at least. You see, because we live in relative world of money. Actually, money has nothing to do with God's kingdom. There is no money in his kingdom. And you can understand rationally that how can there be? How much did Christ charge for his sermons? We have so many great people in this country who did not charge anything of what they gave, who were real people. And the reality is always proved in the human beings when it is done free. That's the reality. Out are the things which are not real. So when you come in the hall, you see a big hall and all that, and a money minded, that how is it without money these people are doing? How can they do it? Now, the thing is, you should be discreet about the whole truth and then understand it, that you are not paying for God's love. You are paying for this all. That you are paying, that's your business, not mine. You are not paying me for that. It's your business. If you happen to have a bigger hall, you can pay for it, all of you put together, and can take a place, whatever you like. If you want, you can go to Hyde Park and have a free lecture there. Whichever way you say, I'm willing to do that. You cannot pay for it, but you can pay for the hall because this is material, this is gross, and you have to do it. So one should understand that you are not to pay for this. You are not to pay for what I say to you, or for my lectures, or anything. Or for your realization, not at all, not a single pie for that. You cannot pay for it. It's so invaluable. That's the only thing that's so invaluable, that one thing you cannot bring it to the level of this gross existence that we have. It is absolutely overflowing. It absolutely freely coming to you. So you cannot pay for it. It's love. And love you cannot purchase. Now, who are not futuristic are the people who believe in the past. Now they have faced another type of problem. They come here, they will think, oh mother, we are such sinners, we've done this sin. I mean, all the past that they have. But love never sees any faults of a person. That's the sign of love. If you love someone, then you just love that person for love's sake. You don't do it because he's such and such. There are 10 people running around. They are running around him for money. Of course, he doesn't give you anything. But you want to be seen with him so that people also think you are rich or whatever it is. Human beings have all kinds of funny ideas of living in imaginary world. But such imaginary world exists. So when such people who live in the past, they come in, they think, oh God, I have done this, and how will I face mother, or how will I face reality? I am such a sinner. This, that. Now when you say you are the friends of sinners, the first conception only, I don't want to agree that you are sinners. I mean, once you come sinner, I think to my eyes nobody is a sinner. So-called sin, all right. It is because of your ignorance. So I would say the ignorant, they are the ignorant people. If you have no lights, and it's raining, and it's bombarding, and if you jump into a well, it's not a sin, is it? Maybe deliberately you have jumped into a well. Some people do. You see, some people are like this, come, oh bull, and hit me. There are people like that. That's true. That sort of people are also there. But mostly, it is a mistake which is committed out of ignorance. You did not know that it was wrong. Today I was reading some chapters of Bible, and I found that the punishment, Shariat as they have for these Islamic laws, just like that. See, a man who takes another man's wife should be killed. We had to be like that. Otherwise, we would never have listened to that. I mean, we could not listen to anything without fear. That's the sign of people who are still much more ignorant and absolutely under bondage. Like I would say in Riyadh, my daughter went down and she wrote a letter to me that, of course, if you see from outside, you will think that these Arab people are really very cruel because they force things and they make people so much religious by force. But to me, it's a heaven because I don't need any force for it, because I'm brought up this way, I like it, because they don't tell you to do any wrong things. There are no gambling dens, there are not hooligans, there are no rapists, nothing. It's such a wonderful place to live in. Nobody troubles you. You walk into any place, you take anything, no thieves, you don't have to lock your rooms, nothing, out of fear. This is done out of fear. But for people who are evolved and independent, we have reached a stage where we have evolved. It's a time of Moses that these things happen. It's long time back when human beings were not evolved to that extent to understand that righteousness and goodness are good. We may do bad, we may do wrong things, we may try to harm ourselves, people do it. But in the hearts of hearts, they know it is not good. It's not good. They should not have done it. It's wrong. Even to hurt someone. Now human beings have evolved so much. Imagine the Romans, the way they behaved and the way they treated people in this very country of ours, that they would go to any extent of killing people. But all that cruelty, that violence and that ruthlessness, and you can call even the licentiousness and the permissiveness that with which they destroyed themselves when there was a fall of Roman Empire, we can see clearly. Because they have committed mistakes, we have improved. Because Hitler came in, we know what violence is. And that's how we are correcting ourselves through our own people who are doing wrong things. Like comes overactive in any wrongdoing, he comes forward later on in the history as a person who should be abhorred, the person who should never be copied. He is the person whose name is never taken. That's how we went on learning. And today we are at a stage where we are free to choose whether the hell or the heaven. So when you reach that stage, then one should not think of sinning. That's over now. Because I've told you many a time that Christ, when he came on this earth, he created that special spot for us, which is called as Agya Chakra, which is at the crossing of ego and superego, that if you awaken him, he can suck our sins. So before his coming, there was no such arrangement. He has been predicted in our Indian Puranas and was called as Mahavishnu. Of course, they cannot connect him with Mahavishnu because those people who went to India and talked about Christ, horrible people. I mean, I must say that the way Blake describes the priests, you see, it's so surprising. He says, woe of a child. The priest